Welcome, everyone. We'll give folks just a few more minutes to join us, and then we will get started. Alrighty, well, it is 5:02 on my phone, so we will go ahead and get started. Welcome again. My name is Casey Ford, and I serve as the Assistant Director for Student Transitions here at Clemson University, which means that I work with parent and family programs along with our new student orientation program, which brings us to our fourth Tiger Talk Parent and Family webinar of the summer. So I want to thank you for being here. If you have been at any of the previous Tiger Talks this summer, I want to thank you for coming back. Hope that they have been helpful as you have prepared for the fall. So as you know from your registration, this webinar is a little bit different. If you've attended any of the previous ones, we've had some folks from around campus come in and share their resources and then take questions at the end. This webinar is devoted completely to you as an incoming family member and some current family members that we have who will share a little bit more about themselves in a minute, but we have a really, really incredible group called the Clemson Family Advisory Board who helps us do what we do and are a really great resource of, again, current parents and families of Clemson students. So they, along with a few of our orientation ambassadors, are here to share some of their perspective as current families and students, help answer any questions, and hopefully put to ease any anxieties as you continue to prepare for the fall. So I will get us started with some introductions. So again, here is our agenda. We are in the middle of welcome and overview now. I'm going to give all the panelists that you see on your screen a second and just a minute to each introduce themselves and share more about their role. Do want to make sure that we talk a little bit about the Zoom webinar functionality that you see today. So it's a little bit different from a Zoom meeting or perhaps another platform that you've used before. On your toolbar, you should see a little button that says Q&A in between chat and polls. That is the way that we will submit questions today. So in just a few minutes, once we wrap up introductions, we will quote unquote open the floor, open the Zoom for questions. And all you'll do is click that button, type in whatever question you may have, and then we as panelists will be able to see it and then pose that to the group and get that answered for everyone. So that is how today's webinar will work. And then at the end, I'll wrap up with a few more reminders about parent-family programs, things you may want to be aware of as we get closer and closer to the fall, and then we will close. One more note about today's webinar that it is being recorded. So as we wrap up today, Zoom will process the recording, and once that is finished, I will post it to the Clemson Parent and Family Experience portal. I promise I'll remind you about that again. It's a long name, I know, but we will post that into the 2022 Parent and Family Orientation community, as well as our YouTube page. So should you ever want to go back and reference what you hear today, you will have that recording forever and ever. Last note, again, that question and answer feature, you're going to click on the Q&A button to submit any questions. If you would avoid using the chat, we tend to get those a little bit lost in the shuffle with so many options on Zoom webinar. So if you can use that Q&A button, submit those questions. And then if for any reason at the end, if we've not answered your question, or if you've submitted something that by some chance got missed, I'll have a record of those and be able to send out those responses in the next week or so. All right, I'm going to hand it over to our panelists for introductions. So if my CFAB members will go first, go ahead and introduce yourself and your role, and then we will pass it to the orientation ambassadors.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Hello, this is John and Naomi Russi. We're part of the Family Advisory Board. We live in Charleston. Our son graduated in 20, and our daughter will be a sophomore this year in bioengineering. We're happy to be here to help you all out. So please let us know what we can do for you today.
Also, we're military. Yay.
Yay.
Hi, I'm Ayodele Dosumu. I have a daughter that graduated in May, and then I have a son that's a rising senior. Hopefully, he'll graduate in the next year or so. Hopefully, but I have been with the in the committee since 2018, I want to say, and it's been a great help to just be a resource to the family. And I also chair the spring weekend. And Naomi and Rossi are the chair of the board. So if you have anything that you need to know, they're your people. But we're all here to help you and answer all the questions that we can from the experiences that we've had, and just be a resource to you in any way that you need.
Robin.
I'm coming. Here I am. I'm from Anderson, South Carolina. I'm Robin Stringer. I have 4 children. 2 graduated from Clemson. 1 is a senior, and 1 is an incoming freshman through the Bridge program. They've been studying psychology, biology. My son's going into agricultural mechanization. I've been on the board since 2014, I think. And currently I am the Fall Family Weekend Chair.
All right, thank you, CFAB. Quite the crew here, all hold really important roles on our board, so really glad that they could join us tonight. OAs, you want to kick us off?
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Amari Cromity. I'm a sophomore sociology major from Jessup, Georgia. I think I'm supposed to give a word of advice. And my word of advice is to make sure that you encourage your students to become active on campus. We have over 500 student organizations. It's always a great time to get involved outside of the classroom, and all of our campus organizations and clubs do provide that opportunity.
Hi, everyone. My name is Anna Whitaker. I am a junior, rising junior, special education major from Ellicott City, Maryland. And my word of advice to Clemson families, especially new Clemson families, if you don't own a lot of orange, trust me, you will by the time your student is out of here. And if you're like me and you think like, you know, orange isn't really your color, it might not grow on you, I promise it will, speaking from experience. We're super excited to have you here and answer questions you have about Clemson.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ashley McCollum. I'm a junior biological sciences major, American Sign Language minor from Spartanburg, South Carolina. And my kind of advice to you as parents and families would be definitely create a transparent and be a listening ear to your student. They are incoming students. They're freshmen and lots of maybe transfer, but allow them to get adjusted. They're on their own. Because they're coming into something new. Also, like we've all experienced, hopefully something new, maybe a new job, a new experience. You were able to have that time period to adjust and transition. Definitely give your student that time to adjust and transition as well, because they're trying to just discover how they study and things like that. So I encourage you just to be a supportive ear, a listening ear to your student, because it will go a long way for their college experience.
Thanks, OAs. Appreciate you being here as well. And with that, we will go ahead and get started with the main portion of our event tonight. So we are going to go ahead and open the floor for questions. I do want to come back. OAs have done this for, I think, 12 times now in a summer. So they were in word of advice mode. We are going to go ahead and make sure that we get the same information from our CFAB members, as we get so many versions of this question anytime we do this. So CFAB, if you could offer one piece of advice to incoming families, what would that be?
So my word of advice is always involving communication. As your student is transitioning to becoming independent, and we are transitioning into letting them be more independent, it's important to still have good communication. So if you come up with a plan before they leave to come and stay at Clemson, so that you both have the same expectations. They will know whether it's a text once a week or a phone call on Sunday afternoons, that is what is expected, and that will just kind of keep you connected, but also allow some freedom for them as you're kind of weaning. And I would also say that be sure to encourage them. They are still young and learning, and they might do things a little bit differently than you would, but encourage them. Tell them you're proud of them, because that's something they're really going to need to hear frequently, not just the first of school, but every year, every day, every week, however often you can tell them. Just let them know you're proud of them.
What I'll say is, just remember what you've poured into each of your students, and the foundation that you've set, and trust that when they get there, the excitement of that freedom might kick in that first semester. But trust what you have put in, and as Robin has said, communicate. Just make sure that there's communication going on. You know where they are. Some might come in, you think they're prepared, but by the time they get in, they realize that they might not be where they thought they were. So having that communication and knowing conversations to have as they're young adults, but at the same time, they still need their parents. So finding that balance for them of having that freedom, but still letting them know I'm here for you. It doesn't matter what it is. You can talk to me, and I'm not going to judge or shout or complain. And be prepared. They might not do it in full. That's just it. That's the reality of it. And some might do it in less than full. But just be open and be willing to let them grow and develop and figure out themselves. They're still trying to do that, and be okay with some mistakes that will be made. But like Robin said, be there to, encourage, push them on, let them know it's okay. Some of them, I mean, this transition is going to be tough. The schoolwork is going to be hard. They've never gotten anything less than an A before, and then they do their first test and get a C or a D, and it's like life shattering. So just be there to just support and let them know it's different from high school. It's going to be different. And for the CFAB, we're here for you parents. If you need anything from us, however we might be able to help you, in just encouraging you, for those that might be finding it hard as well, that baby is leaving home, we're here to just encourage and hold you up until you realize it's a great thing, and now you've got freedom to do all that you want to do. You don't have to worry about a kid. We'll be there for you. All right.
So those are great pieces of advice. Somebody said to me when we were going through orientation, I think when we were in the audience in your place, don't put undue pressure on your student and tell them these are the greatest years of your life at college. Now, they might be, and they were when I went to college, because in the 1980s were the greatest decade ever. And I loved college, and they were the greatest time. But I tried very hard, and I hope I succeeded with my son when he was at Clemson, telling him these are going to be the greatest years of your life, because he did stress out, and he worked very, very hard at college, and he blossomed, and he did really well. And now that he's now in medical school, and now he is really stressed out, really beyond what he did at Clemson. And he looks back at Clemson and says, oh my God, those were the greatest years of my life. So let him say that, let him proclaim that. But while he was at Clemson, we tried not to tell him that because he worked so hard. And we try, now that our daughter's there, we try not to tell her that, because that puts undue pressure on them on this time period. Let them realize it at some later date. So do you have any?
Yeah, no, my advice is kind of similar to everybody else's. I was surprised that I was stressed about my kids going to college and what they were doing. But you know, it's up to them at this point, and don't stress about the little stuff. Your kids or your, whoever will be safe. The Clemson University really does a great job of making the university smaller or seem smaller than it is. Your students will get with their advisors and they will help them through their academics. They've got, the resident advisors and they've got a whole support system out there. So your students will succeed, they will thrive, and you don't have to worry. You don't have to stress about that calculus test. They've got it.
Amen. Amen. And thank goodness. Well, thank you, CFAB, so much for those words of advice. It looks like our first question submitted through our Q&A little feature here is interested in hearing about Welcome Week. So I'm going to throw that one to our OAs, actually. Can you share a little bit about what students can expect during Welcome Week this year?
Yeah, sure. I can take this one. I was lucky enough to be a part of Welcome Week last year. So going into my sophomore year, I was a Welcome Week leader, and it was a ton of fun. It's literally an entire week. It's the week between student move-in and the first day of classes. And it's basically just a bunch of really fun events and activities for the incoming students to participate in. They get the chance to really get to know campus a lot better, get more comfortable on our campus. But mostly they get to engage and interact with their new Clemson family. There's so much cool stuff. I remember last year we had a silent disco, we had glow in the dark mini golf. There's goat yoga, I'm pretty sure this year. There's so much stuff that I can't even begin to name all of them. It is going to be a great time, and it's something that I'm really glad that Clemson offers, because it really does give students that time to adjust and socialize and get to know people around them in that week leading up to classes starting. I'm sure Ashley and Amari can definitely add to this, but being a Welcome Week leader was a great experience. I had a ton of fun doing it, and I know the incoming students last year also had a great time. It was a ton of fun. Definitely looking forward to it again this August.
Awesome. Thanks, Anna. Seeing another question about how many hours do we have on move-in day? Can anyone share what the move-in day process looks like? And I can add some this year context at the end.
Okay, so for move-in day, you get a 30-minute parking unloading pass to get everything out of your car, and then to move your vehicle to a lot that is designated by housing. You really have all day to move into the room, but you have that 30 minutes to unload. I moved in this last fall, lived in Lever Hall. It didn't take fully 30 minutes to unload the car. It maybe took like 20. I set all my stuff out on the grass. I stayed with my belongings while my parents moved my car. And then we came back and we moved everything up into my room. If you time it just right, the process goes smoothly.
And I would just say, I think your belongings will be safe if you have to leave. If you're all going up to carry a load somewhere, just make sure you label them. There's some, either label it in some bright color or use some of the labels that are provided with Clemson, the move-in that you can print out yourselves. And that'll just help you in your process.
Last thing I'll say about move-in day is in a previous Tiger Talk, I think two times ago, I can find a link and add it in the chat for y'all. We had a webinar that included campus partners from Clemson Home, from Housing and Residence Life on campus. And they did a really good job talking through that process and kind of what to expect and what to be aware of before arriving. So we will be sure to link that in the chat here in case you want to go back and watch it. I'm seeing a question. Can freshmen have cars on campus? Mara, it looks like you're answering that. Can we turn that into a general transportation question? So if I don't have a car, what are my options? What is parking like? Would love to go ahead and cover all of those bases.
Alrighty, so all students, regardless of class standing, can have a vehicle on campus. They would just purchase a parking pass. For incoming students, parking passes should go on sale Monday. They will be able to go to like Parking Transportation Clemson and be able to purchase it that way. But if you don't bring a car to campus, there are plenty of transportation options. We have Tiger Transit. So how that works is if they're at the library late at night and they need to get back to their residence hall and don't feel like walking, they can hop on an app called Translock, request a ride from the library to their residence hall. It'll take them there. Tiger Transit runs from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. on the weekends and 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. during the week. We also have cat bus routes that can take them to Walmart. There's a route that goes to Anderson. All the routes are listed in the Translock app as well. And I had a car my freshman year, didn't really need it. All my friends had cars. And we have pod markets on campus if they need, personal care items, snacks, anything like that.
Awesome. I'm scrolling through here. Give me 1 second. Okay, this is one for out-of-state students. So I'm going to ask out-of-state students and out-of-state parents. Students without a car who need to get to the airport. Has anyone ever not been able to get on the bus because it's full? What about coming back? So airport shuttles or any sort of transportation from campus elsewhere. Can we give some insight there?
Yeah, for sure. I love talking about the airport shuttles. If you know me, I don't shut up about them because I love them. So I am from Maryland. I lived on campus for 2 years, my freshman and sophomore year, and I never had a car. And honestly, even if I did, flying is probably how I would want to get home anyway. So I, needed to get to the airport pretty regularly for those major breaks during the year. And thankfully, Clemson does offer a airport shuttle system. It's a shuttle system that runs from our campus directly to the Greenville Airport, which is about 50 minutes away, as well as the Charlotte Airport, which is like 2.5 hours away. They offer that service from campus to the airport, as well as back to campus from the airport at the end of those breaks. So the shuttles run over a span of usually 3 or 4 days at the beginning of a break. So let's say it's spring break. They run at various times throughout the day. So you don't have to worry about like sitting at the airport for 8 hours before your flight, because you will be able to pick a shuttle time that works best for you. And the same thing goes for the shuttle coming back from the airport back to campus. You can pick the time that works best for you. And the service is of no additional cost. It is free with tuition, so you don't have to worry about paying any additional fee when you step on the shuttle. It is super easy and absolutely wonderful service. I've used it every single time I've gone home. I think I've only ever been driven to the airport like by a friend one time. Every other time I've used that service, and I have never had a problem with it. The signups for the shuttles, that's how you get a seat. They open usually like 3 months in advance, like before the break starts. So whenever you book a flight, I would encourage your student to keep an eye on the shuttle schedule and kind of figure out which shuttle time would work best for them and get that seat as soon as they can. If it's full, they can like hop on a wait list. And if a seat opens up for them, then they will get that seat. I'll say though, full transparency, anytime I've wanted to get on a shuttle, I've gotten on it, even if I've been on the wait list, especially for those very busy travel times like that are in high demand. They will usually open up seats or get a much larger bus if there's a lot of students traveling at the same time. So yeah, so again, that airport shuttle system is awesome. To Greenville, Charlotte, does not run to Atlanta. Keep that in mind. They tried doing that a few years ago, but the traffic was so bad that students started missing their flights, so they canceled it. So just remember, it's only Greenville and Charlotte, but I really, really love that system. It's great to know that I can just get to and from campus super easily, no additional cost. It's a great service.
All righty, I'm seeing a question here about football tickets at family weekend, or oh yeah, there it is. What is the best way to purchase football tickets for parents weekend? So I do have an update. I don't even know if I've told you this, Robin. We did have an update from athletics just a couple of days ago saying that they are finally wrapping up their vendor process. So they've been transitioning to Ticketmaster this year, which is why you've not been able to see ticket sales online. The update is on July 26th. I believe that those sales will begin. Those will go live. And so the short answer is that we will send something out that has that link in it. We will add that to our Fall Family Weekend registration page so that you are able to go into that event page, click the link and purchase tickets there. As of today, as of this moment, those are not yet available in. So you've not missed them. They just needed a little bit extra time to go ahead and get their site up and running. But next week, we will have that link for the game of Fall Family Weekend, as well as any other single game purchases. While we're on the topic, CFAB, do you mind sharing a little bit about Fall Family Weekend, if you've attended, if you would recommend it, anything else you'd like to share about it?
Well, of course, I think it's wonderful. We have so much fun, all the families coming together, and sometimes grandparents are even there. The tailgate, everyone is so excited. We'll have the tiger cub there usually. He makes appearance and he'll pose for pictures. There's things on Friday night, a trivia night. This year we are so excited. We're partnering with Patrick Square. And so we've got some fun Friday night events that have been sold out already. So hopefully you got your tickets early. But the tailgate on Saturday is a lot of fun for the entire family. There's also Saturday it's a reception for out-of-state families to come and just kind of meet with CFAB members who are also from out of state, to just feel like to connect with people, to see how their how it is, because some parents are a little nervous when their child is leaving home and traveling several hundred miles away. And we're going to have coffee and muffins, which will help. I think anytime you have coffee and muffins, it's a good day. Then Sunday we wrap up the weekend with a farewell brunch. That one is also lots of good food, lots of good company. Sometimes a little more hugs are given, but it's just a great time for the whole family to be together. And I forgot the football game. We love to cheer the Tigers on to victory.
Never experienced a football game at a college because this was the first time for me. You're in for a surprise. And boy, do they know how to tailgate. I'd never seen anything like that before, so it's definitely an experience to at least do, if not all the time, at least once to experience it. It truly is. Yeah, they love the Tiger. We're good supporters. There's orange everywhere, and be prepared to be stuck in traffic for hours because it's going to get that busy.
All right. What a plug for Fall Family Weekend. Robin, as she may have already said, is our Fall Family Weekend chair. So is very excited to have you all at what we're calling Robin's Tailgate, September 16th to the 18th, 2022. All right, let me see. Anna, do you mind? I can see that you're answering this question about missing orientation. Wondering if that is maybe a few folks on the call. Do you mind answering that one out loud? Thanks.
Yeah, sure. So if you or your student did not get to participate in the in-person orientation experience this summer, do not worry. You are definitely not going to be at a disadvantage or setback. The purpose of our in-person orientation experience is just to give students and families the opportunity to interact with each other and learn more information about their academic college, which is great. But if you missed it, it is not, the end all be all. I think Welcome Week is kind of like an extended version of that in a way. Your students going to have an entire week to be interacting with other students, getting more acclimated to campus, learning more about the university, and getting those questions answered. As far as the information that was shared at orientation, honestly, coming to webinars like this is super, super helpful. This is exactly what we do at the orientation sessions, except we're sitting on a stage, passing around a microphone instead of on Zoom, but it's the same kind of idea. And honestly, any information you could want to know is frequently being shared via social media. You can definitely call you could definitely call our Office of Admissions. Really anything you want to talk to someone about, people here are more than happy to help you. But no, your student will not be at a disadvantage if they did not get to participate in the in-person orientation experience. It was just kind of like a taste of life at Clemson, but there will be, plenty more opportunities for them to be more acclimated with the university once they get here.
Thanks, Anna. A follow-up here to Welcome Week. So is it just freshmen for Welcome Week, or are upper class students there as well? Who can come to Welcome Week?
Okay, so how it has worked in the past is that first year students are traditionally all week at Welcome Week, and then transfer students come the first day of Welcome Week or all week. It's the first day of Welcome Week. There will be a schedule that goes out, and the entire schedule goes on the CU Events app, and it dots which days are for which students. But there are events for everyone that happen at night, like Anna mentioned, goat yoga, glow in the dark yoga, things like that. Tiger Proud is also for all students, regardless of class standing. So everybody will be able to participate in Welcome Week in some capacity.
Yeah, the day Amari, I think was probably referencing is new student convocation. So there is sort of a grand university kickoff to that first semester for all new students, whether they're first year transfer, anyone who is a new to Clemson student will definitely be able to participate in all of Welcome Week, as I said, but I think specifically that new student convocation piece is a really cool way to, a really cool way to kick off this semester. We have President Clements come, we have some other administrators from around campus who provide a really big welcome over in Little John Coliseum to all new students. So we will definitely have that Welcome Week schedule posted, and you'll be able to see the day and times of events like that. But definitely want to encourage you to encourage your student to be there. All right, looks like our panelists are typing away. Let's see here. I'm going to ask this question because I always do. For our CFAB folks, would you mind sharing, in your opinion, what a good time to visit your student is? So a good time to visit your Clemson student.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we talk about that every year. Try to figure out when should we go up to Clemson and our, somebody asked, I think in one of the questions is it a good time to go parents weekend? And that's a personal choice. I mean, we love Parents Weekend. Yay, Robin. It is a crowded weekend. Well, Clemson, I mean, everybody descends on Clemson at once. It's a small town. So the prices rise for the hotels. In fact, I was texting with Marty today because Hampton Inn jacked up the prices. And Hampton Inn has no right to ask $1,000 for a hotel room. So I was mortified. But it just depends on your personal preference. I mean, I think that's early enough in the semester where they haven't gotten too far into their classes yet. So it's a good time. And it's a fun time. Parents Weekend our family weekend is a great time, especially for out-of-state students and families to really meet a lot of other people because it's such a friendly atmosphere. So that's a great time to come. However, if you abhor crowds and you don't want to go and there's not a lot of people, maybe that's not the time for you. So what we've done now that we've been at Clemson since 2016 is at the start of every semester, we ask our kids, since they're both still in school, we say, hey, take a look at your syllabi for the semester and tell us when are your crowded times and when are your easier times. And then we get a plan together for the whole semester. That's what we do. Does that help, Casey?
Mhm. Yeah.
One thing that I didn't mention about with Family Weekend, the different colleges also have open houses. So if you want to get into the, to see the academic areas, there will be some events. If you're able to get in town before Friday, that'll give you the whole day Friday to go and see the open houses. I know one year my daughter had a poster presentation where I went and saw what she was doing in her classroom, and I was really impressed because their posters are not like the kind they made in middle school and high school or elementary school. These are, I mean, they are fancy. They are really, you'll see how smart your student is when you see one of those presentations.
I think just asking them as well, like Nomi said, of when they want. Now sometimes they might not let their entertainment, distract them from their schoolwork. So they might not want you down here. We tell our kids that every time. But we live in Greenville, which is only about 45 to 50 minutes. And when our kids originally went, they thought we're going to be there every time. So I've got a life. I'm not going to do that. But we do ask them if you're available this weekend. And so we drive down and we'll spend the whole day, just hanging and really doing nothing, go eat, take them out and spend the time. Like they said, the fall weekend is great, but it is crowded and there'll be a lot of distraction. So if you want something more intimate and quiet, then I would say plan with your students to see what timeline might work for them for you to come down, especially those that are coming from far away, and plan a weekend where it might be a little bit quieter for them. But the fall weekend is always great. But if you want something quiet and intimate, that would not be the weekend to do it. So you might want to plan something else. But I think anytime you come down, it should be a good time. Hopefully, they're always happy to see us.
And I know I'm the chairperson, but I have to say, it would be great if you are able to come for Fall Family Weekend to see all the excitement and everything, the experience what it's like on a football weekend when everybody's excited, and then maybe come back a little bit later on when there's nothing major planned so that you can have that as well. Or come Family Weekend and carve out a place away from all the hustle and bustle to spend some time with them. So anyway, that's why I'm the chairperson.
Thanks, Robin. Yeah, I saw that other question asking about the percentage of students and parents who come. I can't give you a percentage, but I can tell you that we have between 1,000 and 2,000 parents register for events that weekend. So as everyone has said, it is a crowded place to be, a fun place to be, but a crowded place to be. So definitely worth considering in your plans. All right, we've got a couple other questions here that I think our orientation ambassadors are going to help answer. So the first one is also for the dorm room, is there a particular power strip for electronics that people recommend? Ashley, along with that, if you can share anything else that maybe you would recommend bringing to move in that day that maybe you had not thought of, that would be great.
Yes. So there's not a particular power strip. I use the ones that have like a USB option and a power strip option, where I can just zip tie to make it efficient and keep as much storage space as possible. So I would highly recommend bringing zip ties, zip tying, making it look really clean, zip tying it to maybe the bed frame or something. I highly suggest doing that because I didn't think about it, but I like the look of having the power strip on something, maybe on a wall or something, and zip tying it so you can get it out of the floor so it's not as chaotic on the floor. So I highly suggest doing that. But moving, for me, I highly suggest bringing maybe like a trolley or a buggy. So you have that 30-minute to an hour time period. So you're able to bring maybe that beach buggy or that beach trolley that you might have in the attic or in this extra storage room. So you're able to get more stuff in during that 30 minutes and then bring it on in. So I highly suggest bringing some type of trolley. I know my family and we had like our beach academy buggy and we also had like a thing that like you could, like a trolley where you could just put like a heavy refrigerator or something on top of it, tubs that you could stack on top of it and pull it down and bring it. Highly suggest bringing those. That'll definitely help you with moving. So yeah, definitely bring zip ties, buggy, and a trolley.
Thank you, ma'am. And then that next question is, I've heard that students are able to download and set up their computers prior to classes and have been told that a support session is offered during move-in. When/where are those sessions available, and do students sign up or just drop in?
I'll take this one as well. So during Welcome Week, there is a time allotted, and it's called academic college programming. So that time is where students are able, for their specific college, whatever they might need for their major, their college, they're able to ask questions about what software they need, how CCIT will be in representative to help students get certified in whatever they might need for their college, whatever programming they might need for their specific computer or whatnot. They're able to do that. So that is a great time. That date is, give you specific, that is August the 22nd. So that's after convocation. So that'll be for students to be able to utilize during that time period.
Awesome. And then our classic question about football tickets: how easy or difficult is it for my student to get tickets to football games? Not family weekend, just football games in general. Anna, it's looking like you have some thoughts there.
Yes, I know that football is something that a lot of people wonder about. How is it getting tickets? So always like to answer this question, ease any nerves that there are about getting tickets to games. So there are two main ways that all students can get tickets to football games. The first one is going to be our free student ticket lottery. So what happens is, at the beginning of the football season, all students are sent an email from ticketing if they would like to enter the student free lottery. And what they do is they go through and they indicate which games they would like a ticket for. They can indicate all of them, one of them, some of them, any game they want. They can go in and just say, yes, I would like a ticket. Then once those responses are collected, the ticketing does a random lottery for students, and upperclassmen tend to get priority. So the upperclassmen usually have more, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, like entries in the lottery. And then they go through and they pick out the names, and then your student is notified which games they received a ticket for. And that ticket is free to them. It's in the student section, either on the hill the lower deck or the upper deck student section. I will say, full transparency, I used the second option this past year, which was the student season ticket, where I also entered a lottery for a season ticket, and I got one, and I got it for the upper deck student section. And so I had a ticket to every home game. It did come with an additional fee. It was not a free ticket. I think it was around like $180 or something for that season ticket, but I had one for the entire season. I will say that most of my friends did the student lottery, the free lottery, and they got like 5 out of 6 of the home games through that lottery. So most of the time, your student's going to get a ticket to the game they want to go to. If they don't, for some reason, getting tickets is really easy. Students can trade tickets very easily. So let's say I want to go to Wake Forest, but I only have a BC ticket. Ashley wants to go to BC and she has a Wake ticket. We can trade tickets, no fee. It's super easy to do. Also, students, will sell tickets for super cheap. Hey, I'm going to be out of town last minute, selling an upper deck BC ticket for $10. Students will do that. We get it. We're all in college, So one way or another, students always find a way to the game. I promise. I've never not been at a football game that I really wanted to go to. And Clemson wants students at the game. So that's why they have that free lottery option. So it's no additional cost. The season tickets are an option. And there's plenty of other ways to get tickets if it comes down to it. So definitely, do not fear. Your student will be at any game they want to attend. I will also say that football is the only sport that ticketing works that way for. Everything else, students have free guaranteed student tickets for first come, first served basis. So literally any sport, basketball, baseball, softball. We have a really good softball team. We have a really good soccer team. So football is the only thing where ticketing is even something that is talked about. Everything else, students can get in. All they have to do is show their ID and they're good to go. So hopefully that eases some nerves about ticketing. I promise it is not as stressful or chaotic as you might think. And it's a good time, so.
All right. Other questions from our participants? We've got some time left, so if you think of some, feel free to keep sending those in. But I definitely want to get to one of my other every week questions. I'm going to put a pause on my every week question. I'll come right back to it. Seeing one, and I've seen a few others like this that ask to talk about what it's like joining a sorority. OAs, whether or not you have experienced that yourself, can you give some perspective to that experience and how parents and students could learn more about that, please?
Yeah, I can. I am not a part of sorority on campus, but I have a ton of friends who are a part of sorority, and they said that they highly suggest that students are able to get involved outside of being in sorority life. Because they said it enhances their Clemson experience. It doesn't make it, but it enhances it. So they're able to meet new people, more people, and they're able to have more opportunities to get involved with some of the other sororities on campus. So I highly suggest other students get involved outside of doing sorority life, because only 25% of our students are involved in sorority fraternity life. So it's not a requirement. Many of our students are not in fraternity sorority life, but those who are in it, they do say it enhances their Clemson experience. So it is a great opportunity for students also to get involved as well.
Definitely echo all of what Ashley has shared there. Definitely a really great experience of involvement and connection to campus and community here at Clemson, but we are not a campus where that is the thing or the only way to be involved or connected to campus and community. So definitely want to make sure that that is the perception there. I know you're tired of me plugging previous Tiger Talks, but we did just have a Tiger Talk last week about student life at Clemson, which included Gary Weiser, the director for fraternity and sorority life here at Clemson. And so we will make sure to add that link in here as well before we wrap up. But he gave a really good overview of the office, first of all, and and of all those processes. So we have a few different councils here at Clemson. And so those have some different recruitment and intake processes. They're a little bit different. And so want to make sure that you were able to have the information on what those processes look like. And we'll definitely send over that link before we wrap up.
I have 3 girls, and whether going through the sorority process was it was based on their personalities, what was important to them, what they were interested in. And only one went through the process and joined a sorority, and she enjoyed it immensely. And the 2 that didn't go through it were immensely happy in their other activities. So, I think it just depends on the individual student.
I want to echo that because my daughter didn't do it until her last semester to graduate before she finally went through it, and she enjoyed it and is glad that she got to do it. And then my son did it last year. So it's just really like everyone said, it's what they want to do, if it's something they want to experience or not, but it's definitely not something necessary to be on campus and to have a good time on campus and to really be a family, to get that family feel on campus. It doesn't have to be through that.
Saw a question somewhat related here about a list of ways to get involved, a list of student organizations. Amari, would you answer that one out loud?
So we have an online platform called Tiger Quest. Students can log in with Clemson credentials and search all student organizations and clubs that we offer on campus. They can even narrow it down by essentially what the club talks about. So if you're looking more like volunteerism and service, there's a whole section about organizations specific to that. All active organizations are listed, and many of them will be at Tiger Prow in case your student wanted to talk to them in person. And Tiger Quest and Tiger Prow are the ways to see all the awards.
Seeing a question that says, how can my student get a therapist or psychiatrist? Anyone able to share about CAPS at Clemson?
Could you repeat what they asked the question?
Yeah, so it says, how can my student get a therapist or psychiatrist? Just wondering if you could talk a little bit about CAPS and those services.
Yes, absolutely. My daughter, one of my daughters, has been helped tremendously through CAPS. We just felt like she needed some help here at Clemson. She's actually got anorexia, so it was something that she needed someone on campus that she could talk with. But the programs offered by Redfern, which is the health center, and then CAPS is the counseling and psychology. Please tell me what the correct terminology is for it, because I call it CAPS so much, I don't remember.
Counseling and psychological services.
Thank you.
You had it. You had it.
Okay, so it's not important that I know what the meaning is. The importance is how well they treat my daughter. And she is doing really well with their counseling services. They also have counselors that help with depression, anxiety, stress, because, every now and then somebody needs some help, and that's okay. But the main thing that's important to know about is there's counselors that are on call. There's, you'll find the help you need. And Redfern is accredited just like a regular hospital. So it's a really good facility to have for our students. But you'll find that there are people on campus in every area that truly care about your student. So just make sure they speak up if they need help. You know, Clemson wants every child, every student to succeed. Mental health is something that's really important in our family. So I just, I encourage you to encourage your student to reach out and go ahead at the very beginning of the semester. If it's a service you think you'll need, go ahead and get a contact established so that you can have, whether it's individual counseling, group counseling, workshops, whatever might be helpful. Check out their website.
All right, we are working to get these last few answered here. I did see one question asking about the other Zooms recorded that I could go back and listen. So I will share the link directly to our YouTube page as well. There are two places that I put these after we do them. So once the Zoom finishes the recording, I add those to our Clemson Parent and Family Experience portal. Again, we'll remind you what that looks like before we wrap up. That is what I want to recommend because it's the hub for all things parent and family information. So we've got a community on there called the 2022 Parent and Family Community that has anything that is relevant to this summer as you approach this coming semester. And those are all linked to our Clemson Family Programs YouTube page. If you just we'll send the link, but if you just Google Clemson Family Programs YouTube, that takes you right to where all of our Tiger Talk recordings are. There's a playlist called 2022 Tiger Talks, and that shows the previous 3 webinars. And we'll show this one and the one that we have left once we finish those here in a couple of weeks. Students, correct me if Glenn is typing an answer. Even so, students, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think that you need specific health insurance for CAPS or Redfern. Am I correct in that? Okay.
Yeah, you're right. You can use any insurance. The way that they take it might just be different depending on the insurance, but like they've never denied different kinds of insurances. I don't think there's no required insurance. So
gotcha. All right, last question here as our panelists are typing in some of these answers. Just want to make sure we get a little bit extra time with CFAB here. If I am a parent on this call and I'm looking for ways to get involved, can you share what those are and how I might go about that?
Yeah, I can take that. So we have this great board. Thanks, Casey. We have this great board that we love more participation in. It is a way that you can interact with the university as far as being a volunteer at events like these. And we're also, when you move in a couple of weeks, we'll be walking around and meeting people and trying to just be helpful. And then there's the Fall Family Weekend that Robin's heading up. You'll see us then. We'll be in just different attractive t-shirts hopefully with the Clemson colors. Like it was said before on the call, during your years at Clemson, you will amass so many t-shirts that it's just mind-boggling. And then there's so many events at the university just to get involved with, and they're just sort of headed up, or not headed up, but they're just sort of come under the rubric of we volunteer, and that's what we do. And then we try to stay involved, and we go out for volunteers. I think, guys, is it in December? I think November, December timeframe, there'll be a link up on our website where we call out for volunteers, and you just fill out an application, and then we do our best to amass what we get and try to fill spots on our board. And there'll be there's just more information about that at that time. So that's the best commercial I can think of for it. Robin, Casey, can you think of anything else?
I think you covered it.
Right. Well, we look forward to meeting you guys. And if you see us walking around aimlessly on campus, please come up and say hi and introduce yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I do want to offer one more plug as we wrap up here. Again, if you have submitted questions in the Q&A feature that we've not quite gotten to or not answered completely, when this recording downloads, it will have all of those questions in it. So we will make sure and get those answered and emailed back out to you. And again, this recording, once we have it ready to go and ready to post, will be posted in what you see on this slide, the Clemson Parent and Family Experience portal. You've got the URL there, as well as, again, if you Google those words, that's going to be the first thing that comes up. You very well may have an account on that portal already. The way that we manage this is upload email addresses of parents once your student is admitted. So there's a very good chance that you were already in one of those hubs on the portal, but if not, super quick, super easy way to make an account. That is where we most often post any information that is relevant to your experience. And then, as I mentioned at the beginning, this has been a summer-long series of Tiger Talk webinars, and we do have one more remaining webinar this summer on August 3rd. It's called Tiger Talk Next Steps for Success. That is essentially our catch-all. It's August. What have we not talked about? What do we need to talk about as we prepare for the fall? So we'll have some folks from the Center for Student Leadership and Engagement there as again to talk through Welcome Week and any other of those details as we get ready for the fall semester. Again, all of these recordings can be found on that portal that I talked about, as well as our YouTube page, Clemson Family Programs YouTube. But if I have missed anything, or if you have any questions that come up as you're kind of processing, I know we've had a lot of information in the last hour. If any questions come up that you need further clarification on, as always, please do reach out to us at cufamilies@clemson.edu or to me at cmford@clemson.edu. As soon as this recording is ready to go and posted, we will make sure and send that out. But as always, thank you so much for being here. I know it's a Friday night at whatever o'clock it is where you are, so I appreciate your attendance and appreciate our panelists for helping us spend some time together. As always, go Tigers. Thanks, everyone.